What is going on, everybody? How are you doing tonight? We are live. We are live. I'm here with Mr. J, the 6,
What
and
it
we're gonna
do?
be talking some. We're gonna be talking some Ahsoka. Gonna be talking spoilers. So get ready. I hope you're ready. Let's get it going.
Live from LA like the Lakers with a late show. Home of the Dodgers where the palm trees grow. Feeling like Ben Roethlisberger when he went pro. Where my stellar fans at? Everybody let's go. Magic in the gathering. For the ones that don't know. Late night with Suge, y'all turn into the show.
I feel I need to get an intro made for us doing like shows, talking about movies and TV shows and stuff like that. I'm gonna get something made that's not late night with Suge Knight, because late night with Suge Knight is gonna change to late night with Suge and Amber.
Okay.
I got the Steel Conspiracy, but now I got to get something for us because we're gonna be talking movies, talking other stuff.
For
So
sure.
I got to get something made. We're gonna get something made, but for now I'm gonna use that intro because that's one of my favorite intros. And shout out to Dre for making that uh,
Definitely.
uh,
Yeah.
beat and the rap. Like I just always love it.
Yeah, I need
Uh,
him to make mine.
Late night, it's almost next morning, right? It's late night for us, early morning for you. What's up, lunch break hop take? Hope you're having a great day. Is this Jose or Bronny? I think it's Bronny because Bronny said he was gonna watch. He was gonna watch me. No, Bronny's here. So never
Oh,
mind. That's Jose. What's going on?
they're both
Shout out to
brothers.
my
Okay.
yeah. Shout out to my two favorite brothers out there. We are gonna be talking Ahsoka spoilers. So get ready if you have not seen Ahsoka yet. Episode 5, episode 6. Come put this on your watch later. Come back, watch it later and see what we got to say about it. But it's going to get exciting. It's going to be awesome. Because Jay, let me tell you something. With episode 5, once I saw it, I thought about you. I was like, Jay is going to be excited because I have said since the beginning, if you have watched us do Mandalorian, if you watched us do the Ahsoka series, I have said I've never watched Rebels. I wasn't a big Clone Wars guy. I've seen the movies, wasn't into the cartoons. And Jay was like, "You got to watch it. You got to watch it." And he talked about how he watched it. So when I saw this episode, I was like, "Jay's gonna love this episode." First off, and secondly, he's talking about all the stuff that he's been telling me to watch. So I was really excited because I want to really hear your thoughts about it, and super excited to see what you got to say. Uh, Ronnie in the house, Brandon Buck, always a pleasure. Y'all about to get muted. Have a good show. Thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate you. After see episode 5, does it make you want to go back and watch Clone Wars and Rebels? I want to watch Clone Wars and Rebels now. To be honest with you, I actually do want to watch it. So I might sit down and start watching it because I had never watched it before. I wasn't a big Star Wars cartoon person when it came out, and so I wasn't into it. And now this show has made me want to go back because I want to see the relationship between Sabine and Ezra, Sabine and Hera, Ahsoka, Kanan, and Hera. I want to know how they fell in love because apparently they were, you know,
The
doing some
character,
things.
the character development on them too, like their relationship is it was well.
Yeah, so now, yeah, so I want to watch it now. So I'm definitely interested in seeing it. Um, but we're gonna start talking spoilers. But before we get in there, Jay, before we start talking spoilers, I know you and Thrawn. I want to know the story about Thrawn because he seems legit. And Jay messaged me after he watched the thing. He was like, "Oh, I like it." I was like, "All right, all right." I don't know much about Thrawn. Now I know there's the books, Herald to the Empire. Those books are very much a Thrawn thing and things like that. So I definitely want to get into this. Yep. King, I'm not going to bring up your. I'll bring up your comment in a minute because I don't want to spoil anything right now. But yes, that relationship I definitely want to go look on because I've heard Star Wars fans that a lot of Star Wars fans in the beginning did not like Ahsoka, and they were very hard on Ahsoka. Yeah, they didn't like the character. They thought it was a waste of a character. They don't understand why Skywalker got a Padawan. It didn't make sense, and now she's one of the most loved characters. So I want to kind of go back and see how that developed. You know, because again, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but Jay, let's just be honest. Dave Filoni, he's over there making barbecue in the backyard. You know what we say when you're making barbecue?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
And that's what Dave Filoni's doing. He's hurting people's feelings out there in Star Wars land because people are really reacting to what he's putting out there. And before we get into spoilers, Jay, again, I was excited to have you see this, especially episode 5, because I know how much you watch Rebels and Clone Wars and how much you know the story. And a lot of people I've heard, oh, well, it's fan service, but I love fan service. I'm one of those people. Endgame, loved it. Spider-Man No Way Far From Home, loved it. You saw Tobey Maguire, spoilers. You saw Andrew Garfield. You saw Doc Ock. You saw Jamie Foxx. I loved it. I can't wait for Deadpool to have nothing but spoilers as Jay gets off his camera.
I'm thinking Frozen.
Oh, you think Frozen? Okay, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, well.
But overall, and we'll start with episode 5, Jay, before we get into spoilers. Overall, what was your overall feeling once the episode ended? What was your overall feeling?
The ending, episode 5?
Yes, episode 5. I apologize.
I thought it was a weird setup. Like when we saw Ahsoka's eyes change, that was that was a badass moment.
Yeah,
like, hey man, she looked really right. Anakin's eyes like, hey man, I ain't like everybody else. You think I'm scared because your eyes can turn red? Guess what? I can do that too. And she said, I choose to live. And then it was like a weird moment where he, kind of smiled. And then I don't know if that was his ghost, like Force ghost, and he, it vanished away. It was like, oh, I choose to live. Like, of course you choose to live. Like, you got a whole nother. We got some more episodes, maybe another season to do. You better choose to live,
right? well, we'll get into some spoilers real quick. So we know at the episode end of 4, we see Anakin, and we were like, all right, who is it? Is it the father? I know Kingslayer was talking about it's the father. It's Anakin taking over the father, because that was a big storyline in Clone Wars, where they this idea of Anakin taking over. And actually, I went back and saw an overview of the episode, not really watching it, but how the father showed him everything, what was going to happen if he didn't stay as the father, and then wiped his mind. So he saw becoming Vader. He saw all that. So we were like, who is this? Is it the father? Is it, this is that? Is it the son? We were all wondering. And we don't really know what it was, because we never got a definite answer. We do know that was somehow Anakin, because he talked about Clone Wars. He talked about the adventures they have. And the fact that the first words out of his mouth was, I'm here to complete your training. So we know it's Anakin. We just don't know where it came from. And I like that it's left open like that, because sometimes things just don't need to be explained. Like, you just got to take it for what it is. And I kind of like this. We don't know who it is. We know it's Anakin. We just don't know what Anakin it is. Is it Anakin that she knows? Is it a Force ghost? Because I don't think it's a Force ghost today, to be honest with you, because they were physically fighting, and so I don't know how a Force ghost would fight. So I'm very interested to see what happens going forward if we even bring this back up. But I will say, what I loved was the symmetry, how they presented it, how they told a story, the trolling, because there's a line when Ahsoka is young and she goes to Anakin, she goes, "This is the Clone Wars," and he looks at it, goes, "Yeah, duh," and it was almost like Dave Filoni trolling Star Wars fans, because that's what everybody say. If you go and watch reactions, that's what they say. They're like, they're in the Clone Wars right now. Wait, that's the live action Clone Wars, and it was almost like Dave telling them, "Yeah, duh, I told you I was going to do some cool stuff." So I really enjoyed how they told that story, and really the visuals that you got. And one of the coolest visuals that we got which I didn't even upload. So my apologies. I'm gonna upload those real quick. But one of the cool visuals that we got in this episode was this visual right here, and I absolutely loved it. And there was a couple of these. There was one where he's walking away, and Ahsoka looks. She's young, and the silhouette of Vader pops up, which was absolutely amazing. And we get this, great image, of Vader, and as you see Anakin walking toward her, this is what happens, and it's like almost like, oh my god, like he just straight turned into Vader, and then he goes back to being Anakin, and even they did a mix of his voice, where he goes, "You lack conviction," and you hear the robotic voice of Vader mixed in with the voice of Hayden Christensen, aka Anakin Skywalker. So, and not particularly this shot, Jay, but what did you like? All in the flashbacks. Did you enjoy those? Did you think they were necessary? Like, what's your overall thoughts on that? On the flashbacks?
I thought it was a nice throwback to the people who watched the Clone Wars. Like, for those who actually watched it, you definitely remember that battle. One of the first few episodes were kind of hectic. I think actually the first episode is like them actually in the war, starting off in the war, just right off the bat, just blasting. And then a couple episodes in, you get Ahsoka. But I really thought it was nice and kind of nostalgic, to see Captain Rex. Because if you thought Ahsoka and Anakin were close, man. There's to me like Captain Rex and Ahsoka's relationship is up there. Because like he's been with her like since the beginning, like since the Clone Wars, since all through Rebels, a little bit of and now live action, and because they save each other's life. Before Order 66 was executed, Ahsoka cut out Captain Rex's chip, inhabitor chip. Then in return, when the clones started to shoot on Ahsoka, Rex saved her life. So it was like, man, like just seeing that to go way back, like to me that was important to me because we may not. If Rebels stays true, then Captain Rex is with other survivors of Order 66. I guess not deserter clones, but just ones who made it. So they might leave Captain Rex alone, but it was still good to see and hear his voice. Oh, OG voice.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people were excited about that and very much pointed that out of that Captain Rex and the original voice was there. People really got excited about it and definitely were enthusiastic about it. What did you think about how they presented? How they presented Anakin and his portrayal for Hayden Christensen? Because for me, when you look at Hayden Christensen now, he is Darth Vader. He is Anakin Skywalker. Like the love that he's getting, what he's showing in his acting, but just how he's playing the character now is absolutely amazing. And I think that it is phenomenal what he's done, how he's come back to this character, and I just love everything that he's doing with it. How do you feel about how he's doing the character, and is he doing the character justice in your eyes?
I know I said in the last episode, like, I'm kind of tired of seeing Anakin, but the actor, like, acting wise, I'm thinking, he's doing no justice, the trying to get all the mannerisms right. He's the little details there. Like I said, like little voice where it says, "You lack conviction," because we have heard Darth Vader say that before.
Yes.
But but I think now, like along with those other people who got shunned in the beginning, he's getting praised now, which that should have never happened in the first place because, he didn't. To me, in my eyes, seeing everything, he didn't mess it up. He played it, perfect. He put his all into it. And
yeah, for sure.
It should have been giving his flowers in the beginning. So and that's the one thing I really don't like about the Star Wars community. I'm like, yo, what y'all beef? Just enjoy.
Right? They just can't enjoy something. They just can't enjoy something. It's actually pretty funny. Yeah, for sure. Sorry. When Ahsoka says, "I won't fight you," just like Luke said in to Darth and Richard. Yeah, a lot of people were confused about that, and they were like, "Oh no, that's from when they fought in the temple," and they're like, "No, what she said in the temple was, I won't leave you again."
Yeah.
And people are like, no, she said this, and like, no, she said, I won't leave you. The parallel to that scene was the Luke of him saying, I won't fight you, and maybe I can't think of another scene that would go hand in hand with. Personally, I think that's the only real scene that you can honestly be like, yeah, that makes sense, to that would fit together, personally.
And people were trying to say the Obi-Wan said it on I want to say Mustafar, but no, Obi-Wan, I'm like, nah. During that duel, well, even beforehand, he said yo, I'm trying to, I love you. Yeah, I don't think he said I won't fight you because I knew Obi-Wan was going to do anything to protect the Jedi way of life.
Yeah,
and we've seen that. You see that through Clone Wars sometimes too.
Yeah, King Sarah says, so now I believe Anakin here is getting closer to being a Mortis god, and it's becoming the father with both light and dark sides, as you can see him through the world between worlds. Well, it's definitely Anakin after Return of the Jedi because he says, I've heard that before. When Ahsoka says, I won't fight you, just like Luke said it to Dark in Return of the Jedi. And then I get what you're saying. I was right there with you, King Sarah. Yeah, I think what I loved was it called back to the original trilogy. It called back to the prequels. When he does the famous spin with his lightsaber behind his back, which he did in the prequels, which people used to make fun of and now love it, which is kind of hilarious. And again, they went, they go back to Rebels, and we get just great shots like this. This actually is this is from the Siege of Mandalore, which we end up getting later, where she fights Darth Maul, and this is when Anakin commits Order 66, and he becomes Darth Vader, and he aligns himself with Palpatine. But this was a great scene because you got to see the Mandos. The fight choreography, Hayden Christensen kind of turning into that Darth Vader figure at this point, and he's in his original costume, and just how they presented it was so amazing. The visuals, the music, the way this young actress and him acted it was so good, and you really got a lot of emotion out of this episode. And you're just kind of like, whoa, this is dope. This is dope. And a lot of people were really surprised at how Hayden was able, because I didn't know this. Hayden wasn't the voice actor for the Clone Wars. It was somebody else. I don't know the name. I didn't look it up. I apologize. But it wasn't him. So there was somebody else who was doing that, that voice acting. And they said, he nailed it. Like he mixed the prequel and the Clone War cartoons together, and it made it work. And Brandon Buck actually says that. He says Matt Lather maybe. What up, Jared Green? Hope you're having a great day. Appreciate you hanging out. It was also cool to see Anakin at Mandalorian. He says, I don't remember this battle. Yep. They had a cool Darth Maul Mandalorians with cool armor. Yep, that was dope. The actress who played the young Ahsoka is the same one who played young Gamora in Infinity War.
I thought she looked familiar too. I'm looking like, hold on, I've seen your face before.
Just green, not orange.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of emotion from it, and one of the questions I have for you, Jay, um, what was Ahsoka's final lesson? What was Anakin trying to teach her? What do you think she was trying to teach her? And chat, please put in what do you think Anakin was trying to teach her for her final lesson, because there's a lot of speculation of what people think that final lesson is, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. So, what do you think that final lesson Anakin was trying to teach Ahsoka?
I thought when he said why when they were on the going back to like to the Clone Wars like flashback a little bit, and he said, "Hey, all my knowledge would be passed on to you," and they're kind of going back and forth, which they always did during the Clone Wars, the series. And it's like, "Hey, man, what if I want to stop fighting and like then you'll die?" And then because we know Ahsoka kind of thinks differently because that's why she kind of left or had to leave to the Jedi Temple because she feels like, hey man, I ain't feeling this. I don't like your way. But I think the final like lesson was like, hey, correct me if I'm wrong, or this is kind of like my opinion. But it's like, hey, there's like a lot of like there's a lot of him and her being like there's a lot of good and evil. Like going back to her eyes turning red. Like, hey, you can easily become a villain, or Darth or whatever. Like just like him. And I think that's why he had said it in the end. Like, hey, there's much hope for you left, and that's why he kind of smiles.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
she didn't, she didn't give in to the dark side, and like she just didn't easily give up. Like she actually chose to still fight for good.
Gotcha. Brandon said to let go of grief. Kingslayer says Anakin taught her to let go of what she perceives as failure, leaving Anakin and him turning to the dark side. Everything has been a lesson, and she still carries him through her. Okay.
Okay, I like that.
Shout out to Ross. He says he didn't watch all the anime and stuff and blended himself into it, which was great. Okay. I 100% agree, Ross. Sorry, I wasn't questioning that. I was thinking about what Kingslayer and what Jay was saying and what Brandon was saying. Here's my take on it. We know what's been the Star Wars theme ever since we first started watching Star Wars was Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one. He was going to bring balance to the Force. And in a way, he did. His children did, or his child, but his children brought balance to the Force. But I think for me, and I'm sorry, I'm scratching the shit out of myself. I don't know. I'm itching all over my back, and it hurts. To me, the lesson that Anakin was teaching Ahsoka was you have a choice. There is a choice, and when you have that choice, you're going to go left or right. When Anakin was faced with the choice, he decided I am going to do this because he wanted to save someone he loves. And it cost him everything. Ahsoka is given a choice, which is why I think she says, you have a choice. Choose to live, choose to die. She's given a choice. You can choose to go down one path or you can choose to go down the other. If you go down the easy way, it's not going to work out for you. But if you go the way that is going to take a little bit more effort, a little bit more guts, a little bit more cojones, at the end, it's going to work out in your favor. Because I think Luke did that. Luke had a choice: join his father or fight his father and possibly kill him. And I think that is the lesson. And I think that when you're faced with the choice, what way are you going to choose? The easy way or the hard way? And it parallels the light and dark side. The dark side likes to take the easy way, power. We can bring people back to life, try to stop death from happening, things like that. Whereas in the light, and not saying Jedi and not really saying Sith, I'm talking about light and dark. The light is accepting that maybe somebody's going to die and you can't save them. Accepting that, yes, you are a keeper of the peace, but sometimes you got to pick up your sword and fight to keep that peace. And I think that is the lesson. Now, I may be wrong. That's just me. This is how I see it. If you don't agree, it's fine. If you agree, great. But that's just how I see it. But I think Star Wars has always been about choice. And I think Anakin was showing her that when you choose a certain way, then things are going to work out for you, or it may not even work out for you, but you didn't take the easy road out. I think that's always been the thing. Anakin took the easy way out. He wanted to save Padme, and he was so worried that he was going to lose her, and he was so fearful that he was like any means necessary to save her, and it cost him. It cost him his wife. It cost him his kids. It cost him himself. It cost him his best friend. And had he, because there's even like a great breakdown of when the Jedi Order tells him he's not a master and he gets so upset. Had he been honest, because there's like a scene where him and Obi-Wan are walking out the temple. If he had been honest with Obi-Wan and said, look, Obi, I need to learn some kind of skill because I have these visions of my wife dying and I want to save her. And I feel like if I become a Jedi Master, because they talk about these teachings that they have that only masters can access, I want to get those teachings so that way I can try to save my wife. And I think Obi-Wan would have helped him. I don't think Obi-Wan would have shunned him. I don't think, maybe the Jedi Order might have, but I think Obi-Wan would have helped him. And that would have saved their relationship. Instead, he says, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to keep that from you, but I'm going to figure out a way to save her, and I'm going to do it on my own terms. And it cost him. It cost him everything he had. It cost him his wife. It cost him his kids. It cost him himself. So I think that's what Anakin's trying to teach Ahsoka is choice. You have a choice. You can choose to train Sabine. You can choose not to. But don't live in with your choice. You have to make that decision, but don't fear it. Don't because that's the thing. She doesn't want to teach Sabine because she's worried. She didn't want to teach Grogu because she's worried. Instead, make a decision. Yes, no, and follow through with it. So I think that to me is what I see. And I mean, again, maybe wrong. Maybe I'm totally missing it. My comprehension skills might not be that good, And now he's still bringing balance as the Morse God, the Father, a role he's still learning to perfect. There you go. I will not let the Morse God. There you go. No, that's fine. I think and maybe we're hopefully it's either we're going to get more about that or we're going to get a season 2 and they dive into that. But and let me ask you, Jay, and Chad, you guys can chime in on this. Do you think Ahsoka needs a season 2? I don't think so.
I would like to see a season 2.
Okay.
I would like it.
But if they tie up all the storyline, if they tie up storylines, what would season 2 need to be about? I think you only need one season, but then you start a new show that has to deal with Thrawn being back.
So,
go ahead. I'll respond. I'll say something after this. Go ahead, Jay.
No, like I said, Thrawn's back, and that could stretch a full season, maybe 2, because he's like he's such a major character, so not just to do a couple episodes would be kind of like a slap in the face. So, because we've been waiting all this time. So I think that'll be season 2, maybe 3 is all about if they do it correctly. Then mix it in with Mandalorian, then Book of Boba Fett, or create a whole nother show for it or whatever.
Gotcha. Now, Kickstarter brings up a good point. Well, there is a Thrawn movie already in production. So my question is, because there's a lot of things, and Star Wars has always had this issue. We have the sequels. We got to figure out where Thrawn fits with the sequels because he's obviously not there. in the sequels because we didn't see him. So something has to happen between this show and the sequels, and that I think is where they're going to put the Thrawn storyline, however it ends, or however it ends. I think that's just where you're gonna that's where I think it can fit the most because it doesn't make sense that you then bring Thrawn in and then say, okay, after the sequels, oh, by the way, he was over here chilling. Like, you can't do that. I mean, you could, but then then you just didn't have a plan, and that's a little frustrating because you're Star Wars. You should absolutely have a plan. But let's say they want to fix things, retcon things. Okay, cool, that's fine. I can live with that. But you have to. We're gonna have to then do a lot of fixing because people don't like those sequels. And so I think for me, if you're doing a season 2 as Ahsoka, it has to do with Thrawn, and whatever happens at the end of that is what leads into the sequels and why Thrawn isn't there, and you're going to get kind of that situation. Um, Ahsoka might end up teaching Hera's kid, absolutely. Ahsoka maybe not, but Ezra, Sabine, and the Rebels unite. We'll talk about Ezra and Sabine in a minute. Ahsoka will have a season 2 to lead into Filoni's film. We already talked about that, but that may be his origin. His backstory is actually kind of honorable. What Buck said, yeah. There's a lot they can do, and they do a Thrawn story, and it's just an origin story. That's cool. Like, I'm okay with that. But I want to kind of see. I want to see what happens between now and the sequels. Like, that would be dope if you got that storyline of like, because obviously we're going to talk in the next episode. Ezra's back, so you get Ezra, Sabine, Ahsoka, Hera, and kind of what's going on there. Because we do see in Rise of Skywalker that the ghost is there, but we just don't ever see who's piloting it. So maybe Hera was there, maybe those people were there, but I'd like to see what happens and if they battle Thrawn. Now, if you're saying between that and the sequels, that's when they're battling Thrawn. Okay, cool. I can live with that. But what happens? Where does he go? Because he just doesn't just disappear, and then the emperor comes back and he's like, "Oh well, look, I'm gonna, the first order comes and Thrawn's not there, one of their best generals." So we'll see what happens. Now that I think about how far in the future are the sequels, well, they can't be that far because Han Solo's there. So 10-year gap, 12, 20, maybe a 20-year gap, maybe 30. You can stretch it to 30 or 40, But even then, they had Ben Solo, and Ben Solo in Rise of Skywalker and the first Force Awakens, he's maybe 20 something. Maybe we could stretch it and say he's 30. So you could do 35 years, maybe. I'm not sure. Ahsoka could be dead by old age. Very true. I haven't been in this invested show in quite a while to really enjoy it so far. It's nice to have something that generally interested. Yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot. And Jace could be the prominent Jedi then. Yep. What are your thoughts, Jay?
On what?
Like, where can they go with the story from here?
There was a moment where Jason was he's tapping into his abilities, where he's trying to, in a mother-son relationship, and he's like, "No, mom." You know how every mom does. Like, you're being rude, or wait till I'm finished talking grown folk here. Like, my mom is important. It might save your job. Like, no, but his force abilities are starting to kick in, which is nice because we all know that. Well, we should all know that backstory on because he is does have he is force sensitive, or he was bound to be force sensitive because his father, may he rest in peace, was a Jedi, so they could tap into that. For me personally, I want to see, and this is like a wild take, like down the road, I want to see like Jason and Grogu, like kind of like fight side by side, like or grow up,
That actually would be dope.
You know, because like I said before, man, my theory, like, yo, if Sabine, a Mandalorian, can learn to wield a lightsaber without the Force, right? Can Grogu, with the Force, learn to wield Mandalorian weapons. So it's like, hey, man, so
Yeah, for
Cause
sure.
they already, because like I was saying, they already in each other's shows, so why not?
Yep, for sure, for sure. All right, we're gonna go into episode 6. Spoilers. Um, Before we get into episode 6, I wanted to ask you. A lot of people are saying this is like a filler episode. I don't feel it's a filler, but I don't feel it was a episode where a lot happened. It was more like explaining stuff. I would tell you though,
But you episode 6? What?
yeah, but I would tell you though, it was the most beautiful shot episode I've ever seen. When that Star Destroyer goes over the pillar and kind of just drops, and then you see Thrawn's army gather, I loved it. I thought that was amazing.
Oh, we got to rate our episode 5. Oh yeah, we do got rated.
A lot of people are saying this episode was a filler.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at, bro. There was so many symbolic and happy moments.
Okay, real quick. King Star said we got to rate it. We got to rate our episode 5. What do you give it? What do you give episode 5?
Yeah, I give it a 9. Definitely, I give it a 9. Good flashback. Good acting. Good little details. Also one more thing. Well, for me, when they find Ahsoka in the water, did that mean did that mean anything to y'all? Because I thought for me that meant like she was reborn or she was given a second chance. Because for the Christian faith, you are normally baptized in the water. When you come out, you're free of sin. You give your life to Christ. Because all that light that was shining on her, and then somebody pulls her out the water. That's what I got from it. And then and then we see her in the scene where we think it's her going to the bringing, what is it? People were calling her like Ahsoka the White or Ahsoka the Hope. Dressed in her white cloth, but it turns out it was like just an ordinary like towel or poncho.
Yeah, but now if you notice that, like even in episode 6, she's in like all white. She's not in like that blue kind of armor she was wearing. It's all white. So I would agree that, like King Sir said, people are comparing it to Gandalf the Grey becoming Gandalf the White. I kind of agree with that because now if you see her costume,
I knew that they did that scene for a reason. I'm like,
yeah, for sure. King Sir gave it a 9.3 out of 10. I will give it a 9.1 out of 10. I think it was really well done. I wish the action scenes for like the Clone Wars, the Siege of Mandalore, all that stuff had not just been like smoke. And I get it when they did it, budget, things like that. But it would have been doper to see a whole set. But that would have been a lot of scale, a lot of money to do. So I'm okay with it. But overall I think it was great. And yeah, I give it a 9.1. Going back to Brandon's point, he said episode 6 a filler. What? I'm not saying it's a filler. I think it was a little slow, like from what you went from to what you went to, like where you episode 5 to episode 6. It was a slow episode. It was very just more like filling you in and things like that. But yeah, I don't think it was a filler. I think it was more of a setup episode. But it wasn't what you got in episode 5 and then what you got in episode 6 was 2 different episodes and 2 different styles of storytelling. Whereas episode 5 was emotion, action, things like that. And episode 6 was more like, okay, here we go. You get to see the big players now. You get to see returning characters. And now I think 7 and 8 are that we're going to get a lot of action. We're going to get a lot of story. We're going to get a lot. So I think this episode had to be slow, and I'm fine with that. I have a problem with that, but a lot of people are saying it's filler. So I don't agree. I don't think it was filler, but it did slow down tremendously for me. How did you feel about the overall episode of episode 6, Jay?
Well, I felt about overall, it was definitely not a filler. I don't know where people get that idea, but I will not ruin it because we're gonna talk about it. I feel like it was needed. Some important characters were brought back. It was Yeah, there we go. It's more of a feel good moment, like a victory lap, because we've been
Okay.
like waiting to see these characters, and now it's like kind of almost coming full circle.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, definitely. It was a very feel good moment. You had some stuff. Best looking episodes since seeing Dragon battles in House of Dragon. Yeah, I thought this episode was beautiful. Just that shot of the Star Destroyer just going over. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, him and
Like
them
I
like
loved him.
and them chanting his name, like if you ever watched the 300.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to 300. But we finally get Thrawn, um, and his army, who are just, and it's crazy because you look at the uniform, and I had the picture. I don't know what happened to it. I can't find it right now. But you're looking at his army, and it looks like they're scrapping together armor, fixing it with spare parts. One of his main generals, you see it's a stormtrooper helmet, but then turns around and it actually has a face, but it's like a gold face, and he's just this lifeless face staring at you. And I thought that was dope. I thought you're right when they were chanting Thrawn's name was dope. Seeing the sisters were dope. There was just a lot of things um, that I just thought visually were amazing. Right, and how Kingslayer says right here, he says, "I like the Star Destroyer still having damage from the final battles in Rebel." Yep, that was dope. You saw all these things. It's just I loved it. I love visually. I love this episode. Again, I'm not saying it was a filler. I'm just telling you what people were saying. But I felt like they slowed it down compared to what you saw in episode 5 to set you up for episodes 7 and 8. Because I think 7 and 8, I, I think the end of 7 and all of 8 is just going to be action packed. I think we're just going to get a lot of action in those episodes, and I think that I'm okay with that. I'm okay with slowing down right now. Tell the story. Give me the story. Okay, I don't know who Thrawn is. Give me that story because I want to see who he is. I want to see what he's about because supposedly he's one bad mother lover, and so I want to see what he's about. King Slayer says the night trooper leader is Enoch. The night troopers are rescue stormtroopers who died on the planet who were brought back by Night Sisters magic, like Morak, who was brought back. Oh, okay, okay. Now is that confirmed or okay? So all these stormtroopers are brought back. Were they in the final battle, or were they in the battle or on the planet? Did they die, and then the sisters brought them back? Is that what we're seeing here?
I
But
think
see,
it's
but
kind
then
of.
that doesn't.
I
But
think
that
it's
doesn't
kind
make
of.
sense then. But to see that doesn't make sense. Now,
I
not
think
that
it's
the
kind of like
stormtroopers.
referencing like when he said, "Hey, I'm when uh, Admiral Thrawn has said, hey, sis, I'm gonna need your dark magic again." I'm like, hold up again, which you used to the
Yeah,
first.
because but that doesn't make sense though because the sisters, can they travel between worlds, or because are they stuck on that planet with them? Because then how did they bring Morok back? That's what I'm confused about. So or what or did um Morgan bring back Mork? Maybe she did. That would make sense. But I'm just saying that if the sisters were stuck on that planet with Thrawn, how would they bring somebody back? Now I can say, okay, they brought Stormtrooper back there, so yeah, that makes sense. But I am confused how they brought Morak back. Okay, that's yeah. So then that makes sense. So Lady Elizabeth brought Morak back. She's a Night Sister. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I didn't. Yeah, again, I didn't download the damn picture. But we get Thrawn. We see all that, and he lets Sabine go. But here's the thing, though. When they're having a conversation with uh um with Skull, I don't even think I pronounced it. I don't even think I wrote it right. So I'm not even gonna bring it up. Um, he kind of questions, Skull, and he's like, "Oh, you're a Jedi." Hmm. And when they let Sabine go, he tells him, "Okay, go after her." And you know, then Thrawn talks to Morgan and is like, "Yeah, I don't really trust him," kind of, or would he tell you the full truth, like about Ahsoka being alive and things like that? So I don't think he trusts at all. And he even says like, "Hey, if we leave, we don't have to wait for them. We're leaving without them. I don't care. I don't give a damn about them." Um, how do you think Thrawn trusts them, or do you think that they're a big part of his plan, Jay?
Man, Thrawn's through with the Jedi, because with Ezra, we're battling with the Ezra and the rebels. He's and losing to Ezra. Imagine like you are the Grand Admiral, you like let a little kid, beat you. Like he's done with Jedi. Like yo, and that's why like yeah, they're on our side for now. But hey, like, if it's time to go and they not back, screw them. Like I've been here for how long? Yeah, screw them. Y'all not about to get in the way of my big comeback.
Yeah, and there was a scene, I couldn't find it, but him and More are looking at a star map. So something, obviously they have a plan. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they go. And Kingslayer says Jay is right. Thrawn goes, "I need your help again." Very interesting. Um, Ross says it advances the story and narrative while giving added character information. People would blame a plane crash on a road condition. I swear. Yeah, good. I like that analogy. Um, the next big reveal that we obviously get is Ezra returns. Ezra Bridger, and he's all grown up.
Finally,
Has a beard. He's all grown up.
beard and all.
Yeah. So when you saw him, when they were taking her to the village, I was very confused because they were doing it so slow and like weren't really like talking and like So I was like, maybe they don't know where he is, or they think they know where he is, and they're gonna have to lead her to him. But then he pops out of one of the huts. What were your thoughts when you saw Ezra?
Man, it was beautiful, man. It was just. It was a nice moment. Like I said, one of those full circle moments. Like, man, I've been watching. Like I said, I've seen you in Rebels. Now this is my first time actually seeing you live action. Without the hologram. So it was nice. Definitely nice. I'm glad he's alive because Thrawn trying to play, getting inside her head like, oh man, maybe Ezra's dead. I'm thinking like, man, I'm like, I swear, Ezra better not be dead after all this time. Like, if you alive, I know Ezra's fine. So Ezra better be fine. Or the fans going right. The fans going right. But no, it was good. And I'm glad they shared that hug, got their feelings out there. Like, hey man, I'm glad to see you. But it's kind of messed up that Ezra said, man, I can't wait to go back home. Do you see on CB's face like, yeah, about that.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to get some home cooking. Yeah, we're kind of stuck here. And it's funny to me when you're talking about how Thrawn was talking about what he sent Skoke and his apprentice to go after Sabine, and she's like, "I made him a promise," and Thrawn's just like,
"'Cause fuck him, that's why."
That's why I told you earlier in the LBH the Patreon channel, like, yo, Thrawn is pissed. Like, he doesn't show it, but like in his words, like when he says, like, yo, if you see a Purgo come to a Peridia, kill it with prejudice. I'm like, Jesus Christ, with prejudice? That is so evil.
Where's that meme at? You're so evil. Brandon Buck says, I wasn't expecting Ezra in the final moments. I didn't. I kind of did, but it was okay. So I'm gonna be honest, and don't hate me. I honestly believe it was really lackluster. They didn't do it like over the top, like, which makes you think that maybe him or Ahsoka are gonna die. Because it was so nonchalant. He just walks out. Yo, I'm here. I don't know. I didn't like it.
I kind of got that feeling when Ahsoka said, like, I promise I'm gonna bring them back, and she had to look on her face like, hey man, I'm gonna do it by any means necessary. It's just the feeling. I'm looking like, oh, don't do it. Like, don't do me like this. Star Wars.
Yeah. Let me know if you feel the same way. That was really lackluster. I was surprised we got Ezra in the episode. He was in charge of the Wampa trailer park. Yeah, it's pretty funny. He was part of the trailer park. Yeah, it was very interesting, but it was just so lackluster. It's just like, man, he's here. What's up, Ezra? Yo. The way he was introduced is very indicative of their relationship through Rebels. Okay. Again, haven't seen Rebels, and so I apologize. Um, so now we got Ahsoka on her way. Thrawn has his ship. They're gonna need. He needs the Night Sisters, I believe, to get him out of there. We kind of don't know where they're at, what they're doing, and what their plan is. You got now Sabine and Ezra together. Where do we go from here, Jay? Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? What is your prediction for these final two episodes?
My final two episodes. Sabine's going to tell Ezra that they're kind of stuck, but shortly afterwards, because Ahsoka, Chopper, and Huang are coming with the Purgle. Hopefully, they land in the right spot. But then again, Thrawn's going to see. It's going to be like a showdown between Thrawn and Ahsoka, because Ahsoka's been hunting this man for a minute. So hopefully, and then Ezra gonna see Thrawn again. So, but then again, Thrawn's gonna Thrawn is just not gonna just fight them hand to hand combat. But even though he does got the hands, but he just too smart for that. He's gonna have something up his sleeve, and that's why I'm kind of interested when he says, hey, nice, I'm gonna need your dark magic again. I'm like, yo, what are you planning?
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you go on one-on-one with Ahsoka, you're gonna lose.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in like a Mexican standoff here because you got Thrawn, you got Ahsoka and her guys and her team, and then you got Skull. What is Skull playing all of this? That's where I'm interested in.
He does say, "Oh my bad."
No, I don't. That's the key here because we've always had the two sides. You have Thrawn, you have Ahsoka's team. Where does Skull fit? Where does him and his apprentice? Because there's even friction there.
Right.
Because she was talking to him and she's like, do you miss it? What are we gonna do? Why are we helping him? What is the purpose of this? So there's even friction there with him and her, and he's telling her like we need power, and this is how we're gonna get it. So that to me is the biggest question. What is where's his alliance? Not his alliance, but kind of what does he want out of all this? We haven't got a clear answer.
Right, because he said he wants a new beginning. Because it's kind of funny he says this, with the he saw the temple fall, then the order rise, that fell, and now this new thing rise. And he says it happens over and again and again and again. And I'm like, dang, he's right, because it does happen over again and again. And pretty much just with the Death Star, built another one, and the second one blew up in the same fashion. So it does happen again and again. So a new beginning would be nice, but we don't know that now the new beginning. That's what he's talking about. How's is it going to be different? So I think that they're keeping us in the dark or on a cliffhanger with that. He might be blowing smoke, he might be serious, but who knows? But then again, it's kind of weird because the actor, like Kingslayer saying in the chat, the actor is dead, and may he rest in peace. So how are they going to move forward with that?
Yeah, that's a very interesting. Who that entertainment? Who's the guy on the left? Oh, you're talking Suge Knight is a G. I appreciate that. Who that? I hope you stop by my other show, Steel Conspiracy, where we talk Steelers, Panthers, and Ravens when the Steelers play the Bengals. I'd love to have your thoughts on that game if you are a Bengals fan, which I think you are, because who that entertainment means, who that. And like Kingston says, can we talk about Skull for a second? What is his ultimate power is he in search of? I really think he's going to be the biggest plot point. Also, Ray Stevenson, because no more of him after the season. He was a masterclass in his reputation of Skull. Yeah, I think he's done a great job.
Yeah,
I think he's done a really great job, and it sucks that he passed away, and rest in peace. But again, like I just said, what is the goal? What is his goal? Because again, you're in a Mexican standoff. You got Thrawn, you got Ahsoka, you got their teams. Boom. What is his thing? Because he's obviously not aligned with Ahsoka, but he kind of not aligned with Thrawn. He needs something from Thrawn, but he don't really want to, align himself, click up with Thrawn. He wants to do his own thing. So it's kind of interesting to see to see where they're going to go with the story, and I think he's going to be a big part of it. So, it's going to be interesting to kind of see. Los, I love you, Suge. Okay, so when someone says they love me, they must know me personally. So I'm trying to think who this is, and I only know one Bengals fan. I might know a couple, but the one that I would know, he's from England. But I don't. Is it him? Okay, I don't know if this is you. I appreciate you. I'm not really sure. Los. Am I saying that right? I don't know. I'm probably saying that wrong. Ross, Balin is such a good character. Sucks that the actor passed away because I could totally watch more of him. Absolutely. People are speculating Soak's story is like, can you pronounce that for me, Jay? Jay, did you leave? Or are you trying to pronounce that for me? Jay might have left.
Oh, my bad. That's my fault. Wait, what?
No,
Creed or Darth Treya?
Yeah, Kree, Darth Treya, from Knights of the Old Republic.
I played that game in a minute. Dang. There was like talks of that game coming back though. They just kept canceling it.
Think harder. Okay, God, you got me.
Think harder.
I don't know who it is.
Yeah, that helps.
That nation.
Hey, try a little bit harder.
Yeah, right. Try a little bit. I don't know because I only know a few Bengals fans.
I don't see smoke coming out your ears.
Hey, what's up? What's good, y'all? The Forces with Dave Filoni. Absolutely, David Filoni. Kara is like Leia with Cray in front of it. Okay, let me tell you something. If you watch my channel, I am horrible with names. I am horrible pronouncing shit. I'm horrible with spelling. So I apologize in advance. But I am horrible with it. Okay. Once I get a name down, I'm good. Like Jay knows this. Sip to Tally, coach's channel. I kept calling it Skip to Tally. I called it Skip to Tally for like months. Okay. I'm horrible with pronouncing this stuff. So please bear with me. I appreciate all of you. Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, Scold's story is so interesting. And I think it's the biggest, because again, there's that kind of butting of heads with apprentice and master with his apprentice, and does she kill somebody? Does, out of rage because maybe Ahsoka gets him and she kills Ahsoka, does Ezra die? Does Sabine die? So I'm just kind of like, there's a lot going on and we only got 2 episodes left.
Right. So
with these 2 episodes, they're going to cover a lot. And I think now, like I said, this episode was slow because the next 2 episodes are going to be, I feel one of them is going to be really action packed and one's going to be really story packed. So we're going to get the story to continue with these characters, but then we're going to get this action pack. Magic cards. I am so lost. But the person someone hit me up earlier and was telling me if I was streaming, but they were like, "You're not on Twitch." But he's not a Bengals fan. Who that nation? Who that entertainment? You got me lost. So, you want to drop me a hint, please? Because I don't. There's only other one person I can think of, but they don't play Magic. So, damn, you got me. Isn't who that for the same? No, who they? I think it's who they is for the Saints. Who that is for
no, who that's for the Saints. Who days for the Bengals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really, I thought it was okay. Maybe not. I just looked at the picture and I thought it was it's Bengals, 49ers and Dolphins in their thing. So they're not a Bengals fan. So never mind. All right, so it's a Magic card. Okay, you got me confused. You got me thinking about this all night. My apologies, everybody. I'm just
saying slow down. Yeah. I don't know nothing about Schmodown, so that's your earlier days.
Okay, if it's a Bengals fan, I know who it is, and he's in England. So if you're in England, then I know who you are. But if you're not in England, then I don't know.
Guess who?
Right? Yeah, who they is Saints. Okay. Who that?
They spelled like that too. So yeah, it's kind
Your friend is on Schmodown, Kingstar? I actually covered Schmodown for years. Saints and Bengals.
Saints and Bengals is crazy.
Okay, you got me confused. I'm lost. All right. Before we get out of here, Jay, just give me your grade on this episode.
For me, it might be the scene Ezra. I see it like a 9.5. I would give it a 10, but like I said, I did have to factor like the lackluster. Oh, I'm just gonna come out just HUD and just say, hey, I'm thinking like, man, you couldn't make a grand entrance or something. But yeah, like a 9.5. But it's a definitely like a setup for like 7 and 8. So I can't wait. Like the dark magic, what Balin's up to. What what's Ahsoka gonna do when she gets here? Because for me, it might be far fetched, but it's kind of like when you watch Dragon Ball Z, like Krillin and then waiting on Goku to get the Namek. that type of feeling.
Oh my God! Let me tell you something. When I was watching Dragon Ball Z on UPN, and it took freaking 4 weeks for Goku to finally turn Super Saiyan. I am so stupid. What's up, Chris? God damn! I know exactly.
Krillin or Goku.
Now I know who it is. What's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy?
Krillin, but yeah, I see why people.
It took forever. It took forever for them to get to Namek. And it took forever Goku to turn Super Saiyan. Janine the Machine. I definitely know who Janine the Machine is. I actually interviewed her and met her a couple times. She's a really nice person and really great. Kingstar gives it an 8.8 out of 10. Yeah, it's actually pretty funny. Chris in the chat used to do Star Wars review shows. So that's kind of awesome. Doing amazing at a music festival in Louisville. I hope you're having a great time, man. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate you. We need to catch up. Hit me, DM me sometime so we can catch up, man. See how you're doing. Janine is a goddess. Yep, she was. I met her a couple times. I give the episode 8.8. I agree with Kingslayer. I think it's an 8.8. Again, it was a slow episode from what we got from episode 5, but I'm okay with it because I know that episode 7 and episode 8 are going to be amazing. We're going to get a lot of action and we're going to get a lot of story to continue the story. So I think now, would you be upset if Mando showed up all of a sudden?
I think it would be kind of confusing, but I wouldn't be mad.
I think he's showing. I don't think he's showing up, but it would just be funny.
Yeah, it better be for like a damn good reason. Because right now, like I'm not, like I said before, Mando don't get the hand. So like what is looking like? It's like the fight with the big boys. Like when I say big boys, the force wielding, lightsaber, magic wielding. You know what I'm saying? It meant like unless Grogu finally tapped into the force completely.
What if Grogu shows up a little older with a little lightsaber?
Yeah, that's gonna blow my mind.
No, I don't think they're gonna do that.
Also,
I think
speaking of the force, they need to stop. Those scenes where Sabine is reaching out trying to use the force. Does she have the force or not?
Stop messing with us.
Yeah, that's starting to make me mad. I'm like, yo, is Sabine force sensitive or not, bro? Because she's keep reaching out, believing like something's gonna happen. Like, what are you doing here?
I think that if we are going to get a cameo, it's going to come for 2 people. One person I don't want to show up, but I wouldn't be surprised. And the other person I do want to show up because it'd be kind of dope. I think if Luke shows up, I'm tired of the Skywalkers. But then the next person, if Anakin shows up, I would actually be happy, even though I'm tired of the Skywalkers. I think somehow a Force Ghost or Anakin showing up somehow to help Ahsoka would be interesting. Especially, like you said, magic, dealing with the Night Sisters. So that would be interesting. Luke showing up would be irritating because I don't want to see him. I do. I don't. I just don't want to see him. And so I think those are two possible cameos that we're gonna get.
Or Boba Fett coming out of nowhere.
Mando would be out of his element and would upset me. No
Thank
point for
you. That's what I'm talking about. Like, Mando's gonna get destroyed.
no need for Mando. Bo-Katan is more likely to get revenge on Thrawn. I think Sabine was very weak. Is a very weak connection to the Force. Yeah.
He says it all the time. I'm like, yeah. I have all the people, all the children that I taught. You are the lowest. I'm like, dang you, Wayne, bro. Like that's
right. Just straight low class dissenter. All right, before we get out of here, if any of you guys have any comments that you guys want us to read, anything you want to talk about, let us know in the chat. Give you a couple minutes. Trying to do this under an hour, a little bit over an hour. It's really late for Jay. It's a little late for you guys. I know Kingslayer, it's almost probably 1 a.m. Thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate it, man. You come to every episode to talk about Star Wars, and I appreciate that you show up every time. Make sure to check out Kingslayer. If you are a wrestling fan, after every pay-per-view, Kingslayer goes live talking about the pay-per-view. He does some other gaming content, things like that. Check him out. He does an amazing job with my friend Delisha talking wrestling. I watch them all the time. They have good conversation, good streams. Check him out. Brandon Buck, check him out. He does. Brandon, are you on your old show? What is? Are you still doing the Arizona thing? I'm not sure, but check him out. He does a baseball show. He talks Arizona sports. Check him out. Ross, if you have anything, let me know. Chris Hall, if you have anything, let me know. Bronny's in the chat. Bazel, Bronny has lunch break hot tape. Bazel does shorts on food and life and things like that. Check them all out. Check out everybody, man. This is the biggest thing for all of us is support. If we support each other, we can help grow, help build, and make sure to follow each other on Twitter. Make sure to retweet each other. Make sure to and again, sometimes you're tired. You don't want to be you don't really want to watch somebody. But if you just chill in the chat, maybe they say something and you go and start talking about it, and then you get involved in the conversation and you tweet it out and somebody sees it and they're like, oh, I want to talk about that too. And that's what I want us, like the LBHT community to grow more because there's so much out there. We got sports, we got movies, we got wrestling, we got gaming, we got all these things that we cover. Jay's a great gamer. We've been playing Fortnite together. We might stream that live every once in a while. So if we support each other, it really helps. And so, support everybody in the chat. Make sure to follow. Everyone does a great job and they're putting a lot of effort in. So I appreciate everybody showing up. I got a message from Kingslayer, like the first stream we did for Ahsoka, and he's like, hey man, I'm so sorry that I'm talking a lot. He goes, I just love Star Wars. Dude, it is okay. Come in here and talk Star Wars with us. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I love Star Wars, but I'm not like that guy that's like, oh my God, about Star Wars. That's like football, basketball, stuff like that for me. But I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that's here. Just really do appreciate it. Let's hit some of these comments real quick. Force Ghost Anakin was also denied the rank from council. That's pretty funny. Any time for Star Wars. Yeah, I appreciate it. Brandon says no content right now. I would love for Luke to meet Anakin as a young Anakin. That would be dope. Support the fam, absolutely. Kanan was seen in a picture in a ghost cockpit. Kanan was portrayed by Freddie. Oh wow. Freddie Prinze Jr. in Rebels, they used his likeness for live action photos. I mean that. Well, I think Freddie Prinze Jr. did the voice of Kanan, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
Yeah, I think he did the voice of Kanan. I know because he was in the Schmodown. He did Star Wars matches. Which, by the way, real quick, I'll just say this, and I know it's just totally off topic. I have actually been watching old Star Wars Schmodown matches, and if you are a Star Wars fan, go watch. Look up Schmodown, look up Star Wars matches. They don't have the finals, or they don't have the tournament finals for like Demi versus Gold Leader, but they have like the Alex Damon versus Andrew DeMolanta match. They have some other good matches there, but those matches and promos and everything were amazing. If you are a Star Wars fan, check them out because the trivia questions they ask are wild. And if you really think you're a Star Wars fan, try to keep up with the trivia and see how good you can do because they ask some off the wall questions. So I would love to see Sam Whitworth in some form as either Maul or Starkiller. Absolutely. Yo,
Miles,
Freddie Prinze Jr. Yeah. Freddie Prinze Jr. was the voice of Kanan. Yes. Yeah, I would love to see Sam Whitworth. I would have loved to see Sam Whitworth played Alex Damon for the Star Wars title. Shout out to Brandon Buck. He knows what I'm talking about. Um, um, is there anything you want to see these last two episodes? I know I said did you who you want to see, but is there anything you want to see? Any storylines you want tied up, Jay? Before we get out of here, anything you like? Something you want brought up?
I'm not really sure anything I want or I really want brought up. I just want to see it, how they play it out. I do want to see like I know it's kind of weird, but I do want to see like Thrawn, I guess, in action because in Rebels, in a lot of some episodes you will see this man in combat scenarios putting in like serious hand-to-hand combat work. So it'd be kind of interesting to see that, and also to see if Ezra has been keeping up with his training because we all remember he left his lightsaber with Sabine, but Sabine does have a lightsaber, so he might give that to him. So yeah, so I want to see. I do want to see like, yo, are they rusty? Do they still got it? Also like, yeah, what's Ahsoka gonna do? What I'm saying, is this where she's gonna sacrifice herself, or is that like down the road? Because again, with the Force goes heard by Ray. But for me, I don't want her to see her die yet. I don't see her die at all. But I got a feeling that it's coming because you see it in the actor's face that hey, I'm gonna do it. Bring them back by any means necessary. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it to die. I'm not.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. You know what I was thinking of?
Mm-hmm.
You know what Palpatine said to Anakin when he was on Mustafar burning?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
Left that man to die. Obi-Wan had no choice. That was like a pool full of lava. So like what you want this man to do?
All right. Okay. One last thing, King Slayer says. One last thing. Ever notice how the Emperor is kind of more notable than Rebels? The Empire is more noble than Rebels. They take prisoners. In most cases, he gave Sabine her weapon and a mount. Very true. They were like, here's your lightsaber back. Here's 2 guns. Go handle business. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, they were surprised that she survived like the first wave of bandits. I'm looking like, come on now, Sabine got more in her than that.
Right? She's a Mandalorian.
Yeah, like you saw how quick. No, she tried to be a Mandalorian. You saw how quick. Like, oh man, this for the birds. Let me get a shot at. Let me bust out this lightsaber and just do away with all of y'all. See, abandon that shit real quick.
Other than the Dark Death Star and Star Killer Base. And planetary destruction. When it comes to planetary destruction, Empire is like, fuck it, we're just taking everybody out.
Bye-bye, Tatooine.
Right. Bye-bye, Elderon. All right, we're going to get out of here. We've been doing this for hour 15. We're going to get out of here. Appreciate everybody for hanging out. Jay, let the people know where they can find you and find all your content at.
Yes, JayThe6 on everything, on YouTube. I need to upload some more on TikTok, on Twitter. Sorry for my camera freezing. I'm definitely waiting for the parts to my PC to come in. I don't know why it's taking them so long. I need to check up on that because definitely need to stop using this little old Microsoft Surface Pro because the problems they keep having with it. Can't wait to set that up, get more professional for everybody. But yeah, thank y'all for coming out. Again, again, I can't wait to keep on doing these with Suge, other movies, other shows, or whatever that may come.
Yeah, definitely. If you want us to do stuff as far as react to shows, react to movies, let us know. Drop it in the comments. We'll try to do our best to do some stuff. Again, we have a lot of stuff coming out. Jay's doing his streams, doing his Twitch. So make sure to check him out, follow him. We have Still Conspiracy on Tuesday, where we talk Steelers, Ravens, Panthers, and all other sports. Me and Bronny have been doing some cool list. I know Jeremy Miller's going to send me a list. If you have a suggestion of a list, kind of keep it sports related, let me know. We just did our favorite 5 martial art movies, so if you're into martial arts, go check that out. It was pretty fun. What's that?
No, I'm saying who we all.
Yeah. If you late night with Suge and Amber is going to be coming soon, hopefully next week. I am out of town this week because my birthday is Saturday, and I will be in Vegas, and hopefully having a good time. So if you want to send me a birthday gift, right there, Cash App and Venmo. Jay, did you send me a Cash App?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was you or not because the name was different, and I was like, "Who is this?" But I didn't want to put out your personal name. I was like, because Rodney did that to me, and he swears up and down he did it. But we go back, I Cash Apped LBHT, and they're like, "Who's this guy?" I was like, "Thanks for dropping my government name." So I appreciate. Thank you, Jay. I really appreciate it. But if you want to be cool like Jay and want to send me a Cash App or a Venmo for a shot in Vegas, right here, drop it. But Suge Knight. Late Night with Suge Knight with Suge and Amber is going to be coming very soon. We're not only going to be talking about geek stuff, video games, sports. We're also going to be talking life, being parents, books, movies. We'll have people on. We are going to have guests on. We have a lot of cool stuff to talk about. So get ready for that. That's going to be, and we're going to do that try to do that early. About 7:00, so that way people can be there. And it's not too late, but it is late night with Suge and Amber. So check that out. All of our contacts will be in the description, so make sure to check them out. Really appreciate you. When is late night? 4 a.m. for me? No, we're gonna try to go like 7:00 PST, so 11:00 Eastern for you, King Sarah. So it'll be early for you technically, but if you're able to make it, awesome. If you're not, totally understand. I'm trying to do them as early as possible, that way so people can join us. But really appreciate everybody hanging out, especially tonight. It's pretty late. It's already 9:30. We're gonna let you guys go. Thank you once again. Make sure to like, comment, share. Can't like King Sarah says, can't wait for the next episode 7 and 8.
Definitely.
And it's gonna be awesome. When is the next Ahsoka first? It'll probably be 8, and I'll talk to Jay and see if he can do it. We'll probably go live right after 8 comes out. So we'll maybe me and him will watch 8 together, and then go live. Or maybe if Jay wants to do it, we can do it because we have Discord. Me and Jay will get on here. We'll get on here, and we will watch 8 live so you can see our reaction, and then we'll talk about it right after.
Definitely.
Maybe we'll do that.
Let's do.
Maybe we'll get on. We'll get on like at 6 or 7. Watch the episode live. You'll see our reactions to it, and then we'll talk about it. So maybe we'll see if you guys want to do that. We'll do it. But that'll be in 2 weeks. So when episode 8 comes out is when we'll go live next. Whether it be right when 8 comes out or Wednesday, we'll let you know. But next week we won't be live the week after. Mm-hmm. So get ready for that. Again, appreciate it. Thank you, Kingslayer, for being here. Brandon Buck, Ross, Chris Hall, Brodney, Bozel, Jose was in the chat earlier. I know there's some people lurking in Twitch. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. If you are a Star Wars fan, I hope you're enjoying it. If you're not a Star Wars fan, I hope you become one. And if you're not going to become one, I just hope you like me and Jay talking to you, because we really enjoy doing it, and that's why we do it. And Jay stays up really late to do this because he loves talking Star Wars. He loves talking to you people. So we really appreciate it. Have a good night. Be safe, and we will see you next time.